All right. Racing is back. Got a pretty good turnout here. I see some of the, I think it was stage 2 guys. Got, of course, us, PAA, that's Pasadena Athletic Association. And then we have this is a pretty good turnout from the group right here in front of me, Chicos Malos. They had a good turnout, guys. And we had a couple other teams, I think Velo Sport. So anyway, I'm so excited here. I go into convulsions or something. I don't know what I'm doing here. Maybe that's some type of dance. I don't know. Maybe they're playing music. I don't know. But anyway, let's get into it. All right, so this is my wife's point of view. This is my wife's camera and her point of view, and I have her with me for some post-race commentary. So anyway, the race just started. What's going on through your mind here? I know you guys got pushed to the front, and yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I was wishing I wasn't quite at the front, and I'm wishing there was a few more people in front of us, but just wanting to get out there and try to give it a good push, like we talked about to East Fork. And yeah.
So this is Emily here, Emily DeJong, and she's one of our teammates, and she has the pedal to the metal right now. I'm impressed by both of you guys out front pulling. It's not somewhere I want to be though. I know it's little nerves and things like that, but you should never feel obligated to pull unless you're on, in a breakaway or something, pulling with your teammates, but never should be obligated to pull the pack. So it's pretty hard to sustain this, this speed as we start this climb. We have, just for, the viewers out there, this race is about 22 to 24 miles and just under 6,000 feet of climbing, and there's virtually no downhill. It's almost straight up. So yeah, it's a pretty hot pace right here. As the road starts to go up, for you guys to just pull in the group, and they're pulling a group of about 50 riders.
Yeah, as this guy passed, I was hoping we could get on the wheel and take a little bit of a break, but it was pretty hard.
Yeah, and the watts are pretty high right now. I mean, to put it in perspective, Ellen has an FDP of about 210 to 215. So right now this would be like sweet spot. But as you'll see in just a second, as the road goes up, it's definitely well above threshold. It's definitely into high VO2 range. So yeah, but even here, did you ever think of just backing off and letting some riders pass so you guys can get a draft? I mean, we're doing 18 miles per hour. Yeah.
I definitely didn't think too much of letting people pass. I thought people would just be passing.
They're a little smart. They're sitting in the draft right now. It's like, why pass if we don't need to?
I definitely was less nervous than I was in previous races, so it didn't feel too hard right here. It felt like, okay, I wasn't looking at my watch, so I didn't know exactly how much I was doing, but it didn't seem extremely hard, but that must have been adrenaline and some nerves just in the beginning, because shortly you'll see I was tired.
Yeah, and just for clarification, I don't think it was your watch you were looking at. It was probably your Wahoo. But yeah, so but to put it in perspective also, this climb and even that beginning part is harder than people may think. I know if you look at the watts and you look at, they're just doing 18 miles per hour, that road was not flat. No matter what the the metrics are saying, it was not 0%. This is climbing like the entire time. It's going to get steeper, a lot steeper here. And so for some reason, they're at the front right behind this guy right here with Jurassic drumsticks for legs. Look at those calves. Look like he took a drumstick off a pterodactyl or something. But yeah, I mean, again, Emily and Ellen, they're fairly new to racing, and obviously you see the people they're trying to follow. This is not easy at the front. Again, a FTP of about 210 to 215. She's well over that at 230 right now. 5% grade. That young lady that's passing her there is a pro lady. There's some more pro women passing and men. The men are 50 plus, honestly. The men are 50 plus. The women are pro and open women, but there was 3 pro women in the race and about 10 open women in the race. And there goes Carolyn, one of our other teammates. She's very strong as well. She ends up taking second in the race. But as you see, we're now 5 minutes in or so, and all of these riders were pretty smart. They stayed in the draft, and now that my wife's kind of popped, they're passing. Emily comes back through here, but Emily's in the red as well. And yeah, I mean, one of the things here my wife can do is she's falling back, but if you see her watts and stuff, she's still putting in pretty good watts. And if she were to slide over and put in a little dig, that will serve her better than sitting out here in the wind by herself. Also, the young lady that just passed, I believe her name is Naomi, she won the open class, very strong rider. And the young lady here in the orange vest, her and Emily and I rode with her for a good part after this time here.
This is definitely where my inexperience comes in, because I just did not really know how to take a wheel. I didn't feel really comfortable kind of sliding over and getting on a wheel, and I was fairly tired, but didn't think that I was maybe as tired as I really was. At the time, I still felt like, okay, I'm okay, I can, just keep going.
And you can, I mean, you're doing some high watts right now, and the group's not really getting away from you. It's just that you missed the opportunity to jump on the wheel. And, I know obviously your heart rate's pretty high. This is me coming by you now. I thought you were popped, so I was like, hey, just spin it out, try to recover. And right here, you definitely should have put a dig in right there. Jump on Clifford's wheel. That's Clifford Cox, one of my biggest supporters on the channel here. And this is our first time riding together. He's very strong as well. But if you were able to put in a dig there, that would have been a huge benefit. And then you were able to just ride with us and get a nice pull. After we pass you, I actually scoop up Emily. She was kind of in the red as well, and I told her if she can grab my wheel, grab on.
This is probably the spot that I'm the most disappointed with, is just being able to put in that dig and give it a little bit harder effort.
All right, so here's from my point of view. This is my camera, and just like last year in my first race, pre-race nerves, and I could not clip in. And to make it worse, I have speed play pedals. They're pretty much the easiest pedals to clip into. All you do is push down. You don't need to have them right side up or anything else. And I couldn't clip in, and as you can see, I lost a good 20 spots right there just from not being able to clip in. So after that, my wife's race was, it wasn't done, but unfortunately, both of us lost mid-race footage. It was a long race anyway, but she recovered and was able to come back and start picking off people one by one. Again, this is a very long race. So anyway, from my point of view here, basically I didn't want, people were very excited at the beginning. There was a lot of movement, and I just told myself, you can't get a good result if you crash in the first couple seconds. So give people a little room until it settles. So yeah, back here, if you see the difference than what my wife was doing earlier, is I'm gonna get onto a wheel, and you'll see like a huge difference in watts, especially because I weigh so much more than she does, a good 30, 35 pounds. And yeah, I'm gonna be able to sit in the draft for a little bit. And believe it or not, this race every class, there was 5 classes this race. There was a pro class, pro men and women, an open class, a 40 plus, 50 plus, and a Clydesdale class, which was everyone over 190 pounds. And every class started off this first 8-mile push extremely hot. It's kind of reminded you of a Zwift race. I know we're not doing Zwift type watts right now, but trust me, if you've ever ridden this road, or you know, if you ever want to look it up, this is Highway 39 or Azusa Canyon, and up to Crystal Lake, and it's a very steep, you know, difficult climb if you're trying to climb at that pace. Anyway, if you look at my watts now, I'm settled into the draft. I have a decent spot, and I'm actually putting in pretty low watts for the speed that we're going on this road. You know, it's going to surge here and there, but for the most part, I'm getting a decent draft and just trying to move up and get into position since I'm so far back. At the start of the race also, my goal was, I'm not a climber at all, so my goal was to go hard up until East Fork. It's a part of the road that I've done, you know, a lot of times. I actually have another video on here of us doing East Fork where I was doing practicing some slow cadence power, and so I was very comfortable knowing that portion of the road, and I knew I would not be able to hang with these climbers for 22 miles and 6,000 feet. So I'm going to be a little disappointed here, because you saw on my wife's camera angle that I was off the back, and unfortunately I chose to go off the back because my perception, being the first race of the year, my perception of the speed was that we were going too fast. Looking at my watts, I was doing 320 and 360, stuff like that. I thought this wasn't sustainable, but now that I watched the film, honestly, it was well within my wheelhouse to keep going, stay with the group, and just carry out my plan. And unfortunately, I did not commit to my game plan, and it was the right plan. If I would have just stayed with the group for another quarter of a mile, we hit a downhill for a couple miles, and I would have been able to rest, recover. Then we have another like 4 or 5 minute climb, and then a long downhill after that, and that was basically my goal. But instead, what ends up happening is, you know, the pace is hot. As you can see, I'm doing, you know, 290, almost 300 watts. And my FTP as of this race was just 238. And I'm 170 pounds, so I'm only at about 3.2 watts per kilo. And yeah, I didn't commit. I'm actually not even feeling that bad. When I talk to my wife and I talk to Clifford that's behind me, I'm just talking comfortably. My max heart rate, or let me say my peak heart rate, or my peak operating heart rate, is about 188. So right now I got about 16 beats in hand, which, yeah, I'm high into threshold, or threshold heart rate. I'm well into VO2 with my power range. But yeah, I wasn't popped at all. I wasn't even about to pop. So yeah, I should have kept going, but my perception got the best of me, and I was just thinking like, this is a hot pace. And as you can see up there, just 2 more bends, and we're gonna hit a downhill, which I know that. I know the first climb is only, you know, 6-8 minutes or something, and if you watch my watts, I'm not going to back off too much. I'm still going to be doing 270, 280, 290, and I'd be going a little faster doing 280 or 290 with a slight draft than I am out here pushing the wind by myself. And as you can see, the group's not going really much faster than the effort I'm giving now. I'm over 300 watts again, and yeah, it makes no sense for me to be here. That's my wife right there to the right. Give a quick shout out to Clifford Cox behind me. But that's my wife to the right. You can see her cadence is slow now. She's popped. And, you know, it would have been great if she could have gotten on and I could have pulled her up.
300 watts.
That's what teammates are for, even though we're
That's why I just said
racing in
back
different
off.
divisions right now. But we went off together, so there's no like.
Don't worry about that.
There's no rule against who you draft or
way too high.
who you work with. But yeah, it just makes no sense right here for me to do 270, 280 watts
down already.
in the wind by myself.
I know.
When I could be up there in the draft, and they're going about the same speed. We're doing 12 miles per hour. I'm doing 11 here, and then I basically scoop up Emily because she ends up going into the red a little bit as well. She was able to jump onto my wheel, and then I think because I was a little disappointed. I stuck to my game plan, and I ended up pulling the rest of the way for 3-4 miles or whatever to the end of this first part of the climb, and we reeled in a bunch of people, and we were able to get back on track a little bit. Yeah, if you've never done the climb out to Crystal Lake, yeah, I guess it's something that you should give a try at least once. It's a very difficult climb, but as you guys can see, it's pretty nice views. I know some people don't like this rocky landscape. We've had a few fires though the last couple years, and a lot of this got burned away. So on long road races like this, it's often just a battle of attrition, and you can see right there before the film transition that people are getting popped early. So here I just fast forwarded to the last few miles. We're just about to make the turn right to Crystal Lake, and I am extremely popped here. It was a struggle for me to just stay above 200 watts. This little climb right here as we make the turn goes up to about 13%, and it dang near killed me. Yeah, if you can see, like, I'm doing 320, 330 watts or whatever just to make it up this hill, and I'm barely going 6 miles per hour. Yeah, this is not an easy climb. It's not an easy road. So, right here in the black truck, that's the Ramos family pit crew. They did a good job taking care of us with water bottles, holding the clothing, our jackets, taking pictures. This climb is so long, you definitely have to bring clothing. You start at the bottom, and it's I think it was only 50 something degrees when we started at the bottom, but it was about 42 when we got to the top. There's still snow on the ground, things like that. And then riding back down, you have a chance of freezing to death because that wind is cold, and you have basically an hour descent to the bottom doing 30 plus miles per hour. So I was still working my way past people. Unfortunately, we didn't get the footage. For some reason, our cameras cut off. But through the middle of the climb, we reeled back in a lot of people. And unbeknownst to me, my wife is actually reeling me in right now. I am going so slow. I have so little energy. So good job by this guy here. He's a junior from Velosport. And some of these guys are, passing me like I'm standing still. And I try to give a little encouragement to them. We only have about a mile and a half to go now, or half a mile or so. And then look out for this speeding missile that's going to pass me in a second. A guy on a mountain bike. He did this race on a mountain bike. And believe it or not, that class that's passing me right now, the open class, they started 30 minutes behind us. I swear I think this mountain bike is an e-bike though. I don't know how this guy's going this fast on this mountain bike. Yeah, it's a hardtail, but still, it's like 22 miles at 6,000 feet at that speed is just incredible. So yeah, hats off to that guy. So here I only I'm trying to make my final push, and this is really mentally tough right here. Definitely I mean, I kind of felt like I quit, and my buddy Francisco, my training partner right here, he comes by me kind of like I'm standing still. As you see, I try to ramp it up and hit 300 watts just for the Ramos pit crew taking a picture of us right there. And then I'm quickly sapped of power, and Francisco just pulls away from me like nothing. I mean, again, he started 30 minutes after I did in the open class, and I started in the 50 plus. And he's just killing it. He's in great form right now. He's up to 4.4 watts per kilo. He's 100 and just about 150, a little under 150, and he's holding a FTP of over 300. So great job by him. He did a great job climbing. Yeah, it's just very inspiring to see the kind of work that he's been doing. And then here, I think this is going to be my final push to the finish line. I stand up, try to put some power down, and I just don't have it. I mean, yeah, I'm doing 300 watts, but no, I was trying to actually put some power down. I'm only, 300 meters or so from the finish line, and I couldn't even, hit 600 watts or anything. I'm pretty much tapped. As you can see, we're over 5,600 feet of climbing right here. To the open class. I don't know if they were open class or pro class, but those guys fly by me like nothing, and I was doing 330 watts at the time. See how cold it is. There's snow on the ground. So, yeah. Well, anyway, race number 1 is in the books. Hats off to our women's team. We had great, our women's team did a great job. We took 2nd, 4th, and 6th place. Carolyn Carter took 2nd, Emily DeJong took 4th, and my wife Ellen Strickland took 6th place. So it was a great turnout of teams up here too. We also had Legion of Los Angeles show up. They're one of the hot teams in Southern California, maybe even the hottest team in the United States. But they came out. Some of the guys from Boost, super strong guys.
About that
and here I am trying to roll up to my teammates.
Where did we get the last card?
This poker card thing that we thought we needed, and we didn't really need it.
Okay. I don't either.
That's really about it. Hats off to Majestic Cycling for throwing the event, and to the Crystal Lake Cafe for providing the food for us.
You're fast as hell.
Over 300 watts the whole way, just to catch up.
Oh, I know. At the beginning, I backed off right before the downhill. I would have popped.
To try to give a little more effort. I mentally.
It was hard, dude. Like, I couldn't. Like, in the night.
Hey, Ellen. Welcome to a Faster Me.
Thank you.
No. Intro.
She's like, not right now.
Oh, okay.
My mental